our plan is to build up a mining group. So conveyor system is part of mining system. And also, I remember a few months ago, we do long-term learning from a conveyor supplier. Grace asked a question for them how to select a type of conveyor, but at that time they don't have time to answer the question. So today's presentation to explain how to select the correct conveyor system. So what is conveyor? The conveyor is a motorized device used to move materials in relatively large quantities between specific locations over a fixed path. And the total conveyor type is about 400 types. And the materials may be unit, goods, and bulk or fluids. So today, the presentation is focused on continuous bulk materials handling to use for mining project. So as an engineer, consider what type of conveyors, different type of conveyors, and the different application and the different limits. Different type of conveyors. Although we have about 400 type of conveyors, but mainly we just use less than 10 type of conveyor for bulk material handling. This I list here is what in my over 30 years experience in mining and the terminal and other heavy industrial, we usually to use the main conveyor system. So it is a belt conveyor, the high angle belt conveyors, screw conveyors, chain conveyors, and the vibrating conveyors, and the pneumatic conveyors. So first of all, for belt conveyor, belt conveyor is continuous loop of materials supported by idlers. It is the most common conveyor system. It can be over long distance, the large capacity used in mining, terminal, and other industrial. So belt conveyor consists, you can see a picture here. So it consists of belt, idlers support the belt, and this take up to keep belt tension, and the hand idler, a hand pulley, tail pulley, and the bending pulley, and also drive system. So this is the main parts of belt conveyor. The feature of a belt conveyor is usually distance is from 10 meters to 5,000 meters. But the longest now in the world is 50 kilometers. And another one maybe change this report will be 70 kilometers. Now I think it's in manufacturing fabrication stage. This year we have launched learning from a voice company called Voice. They supply fluid coupling for belt conveyor. They are now fabricating supply for a long distance conveyor over 70 kilometers. And the capacity for belt conveyor can be very large, up to 10,000 tons per hour. and the speed can be up to 6 meters per second. And for belt conveyor, the suitable materials is like ore, mineral materials, and food, and the most bulk materials. It's used in mining, manufacture, and transportation. Another feature is the most cost efficiency. For example, for the unit cost per meter, belt conveyor is most cheap measures for handling materials, and also is most energy efficiency measures. And comparatively, the silent and the smooth. So noise compared to other conveyor is lower. And also it can be reversible movement. But belt conveyor, it is not suitable for fine, dusty, or overly free flow materials. And because it cannot incline a deeper angle, so it will consume more flow space. Usually it's only less than 25-degree incline angle. And also have problem is sprayage issue because it is open, and the most problem is the transfer point, sprayage. Another issue is belt tracking. The belt will be not always around the center, especially for short conveyor. So usually common sense think is short conveyor should be okay, but the long conveyor will be problem. But actually, for overland conveyor, belt tracking is not a problem. But always for shorter conveyor, like 10 meter, 20 meter, 50 meter. So it will take lots of time to adjust either pulley to make belt run at the center of others.
Yeah, sorry, I have a question. Can you go back to the slide?
Yeah.
I noticed the belt conveyor is open. Like if it's pretty long, like a certain like 20 kilometers, is there any approach required for the outdoor arrangement? Is it require, it's a shelter or a roof required?
No, it can be outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, do we need to consider the dust collection?
Yes, for dust problem is, so I said it's not suitable for fine or dusty materials. So to reduce dust, usually we have a cover on top, a belt cover, and also have a side cover to reduce wind. But usually for belt conveyor, dust issue is at transfer point. If not consider wind, so on the belt, it will be no dust generate. If say there's no wind. So always a problem at the transfer point from belt to loading, discharge to other equipment or the ground. So that's it will be issue at the transfer point. And this belt conveyor is about 35 kilometers over the conveyor. It is I joined this project for Columbia Iron Ore project. It is mining site at Brazil and the port site in Argentina. So two countries border. From this point to here is about 35 kilometers. It takes about 8 motor drive totally about 10,000 kilowatt. This is application for belt conveyor, what I did in my past. This is West Shore terminal for coal belt conveyor, and for stacking, reclaiming on the stockyard. This one is in Baffin Island. It's Baffin Island Ore Company. It is minus 50 degrees in that area. This belt conveyor is about 600 meters long and deliver iron ore, go to a shiploader. There is a shiploader here. And this is open pit mining conveyor in Thailand. Okay, second one is high angle belt conveyor. Mainly, we have for flexwell belt conveyors and sandwich conveyors and pipe conveyors. Most we use the flexwell belt conveyor on industrial. Like sandwich and the pipe conveyor is not usually we use. Like pipe conveyor, we have one pipe conveyor North Vancouver in Neptune terminal for potash. But like pipe conveyor totally in Canada, it should be less than 10 conveyors, but not too much. You can see there's a picture from here. If say this is belt conveyor to lifting 100 meter, it need to take about 350 meter. So why we need a high angle conveyor? It will be reduce that length and footprint. So now I introduce is flexwell belt conveyor, mostly used for process industrial. It is steep incline or vertical conveyor system use flexible sidewall and cleat. So this belt have a sidewall and the cleat in the middle. So this belt conveyor consists of pulley, like belt conveyor similar, and the belt is cleat and the sidewall, and the belt tension and the drive system. So this conveyor feature is lifting. Usually we use for 10 to 30 meter high, but it can be up to 270 meter. That's not usual use. And the capacity can be up to 6,000 tons per hour. And the incline angle can be vertical to 90 degrees. And the suitable materials at a high incline where the traditional belt conveyor might not be practical. And also can be reduced plant footprints, reduce the power requirement, and the quiet running, reduced maintenance because in the middle have less idlers, but not suitable for sticking materials. This is picture example for in operation. Another one is screw conveyor. This conveyor is a helical screw blades rotating within a tube to move materials along axis. This screw conveyor is very popular in process plants because it is small and simple. So for process plants, they not need long distance, no need high capacity. So this screw conveyor is really suitable for this application. So screw conveyor consists of a shaft, blades, trough, housing, and a cover, and the drive unit. So really simple. Screw conveyor, this feature, the capacity up to 1,000 tons, but usually less than 100 tons per hour. That's mostly used. And the distance, mostly used 1 to 15 meters, but up to 45 meters. So because the nature of this arrangement, so usually one shaft and with middle support make a screw conveyor. If you have a longer and the shaft will have issue for diffraction. So most use for shorter.
John,
Yeah.
Is this screw conveyor closed system?
Yes, it is.
Where does the material go into the?
Okay, so here is the opening, materials in charge here, and then screw push, materials go to here and drop at this end.
That means the material, we have direct contact with the shaft.
Yes, correct. Yes. So in that case, so the problem it will be wear of
Anyway,
trough and the blades and the shaft. So it is not suitable for abrasive materials, friable materials, it will be upgrade materials, it will be broke the materials, and the large lump materials. So it cannot use. Usually can be, the specific can be used for sticky materials because other type of conveyor have a problem for sticky materials, but for screw conveyor, it can be conveying sticky materials, but the shaft will be no shaft. It is a braid only. So like this, it will be no shaft at the middle. So only have braid like this. Then they can convey sticky materials, and they can be used for powder, granular, and high temperature materials like iron and the steel plants. They have a hot ore, so it can use for that, and it can use for wood chips. So in industrial like agriculture, food process, and the wood process plants. So also the feature is rotating speed is quite low, the 50 to 100 RPM, incline angle up to 25 degrees, and the simple operation because it's small, simple, and the relatively low cost because simple. Small space requirement, and it can be fully enclosed. So it will be no dust issue, no safety issue. That's screw conveyor. This application for screw conveyor, this one usually for dust collection, this baghouse. So dust collect here and then can be transferred, discharged by screw conveyor at the bottom. Screw conveyor. And the dosing screw conveyor for most like the pharmacies, plants, chemical plants, like Savante, maybe they have screw conveyor for dosing. and the silo discharge screw conveyor. So it can discharge materials from silo to other place, screw conveyor. Now I introduce the chain conveyor. Chain conveyors, lots of type. I introduce only 3 types of chain conveyor here. First one is apron feeder. The most used in mining project, like to discharge materials, like a feeding crusher, so installed above the crusher, so feeding crusher, and wagon unloading, like a mining project, mining ore will be discharged to apron feeder first, and then discharged to crusher. And the hopper discharge, so it will be on the hopper. Actually, this one is this one same. And on the stockpile, like in mining project, we have stockpile, and under the stockpile, we install apron feeder underneath to discharge the ores. So apron feeders are designed to feed lumping, abrasive, heavy, high temperature materials at a desired handling capacity to downstream equipment. So usually it can metering that discharge rate because it is really slow speed. And the conveyor materials is on mainly overlap pans attached to the chains. So this pads attached to chains. So because it is steel materials, it can be a really heavy impact loads and also be a really high pile above this conveyor. So it can be under a stockpile to reclaim materials. So apron feeder consists of apron pan, chain, tension device. So most conveyor need to have tension device. That means like this bearing system can be moved out, so it can be tension this chain. And spectacles and the drive units. The feature of this apron feeder, capacity up to 14,500 tons per hour, and the length up to 30 meters, usually like 10 or 20 meters, mostly we use. And the chain speed is quite low, 0.1 to 0.5 meters per second. It can handle large size or wet, stick, clay-like feeder materials and high temperature materials in mining and heavy industrial application. Slow motion creates minimum wear throughout the lifetime, and it can bear high impact loads and severely abrasive working condition because all are metal parts, no rubber parts, so it can bear abrasive wear. And the high energy efficiency, low operational cost, allows better control on feeder rate because it can be really slow, usually driven by VFD or hydraulic drive units, but not suitable for powder and fine materials because this pan is overlapped. They have a gap between the pan. So if you have powder, fine particles, it will be leak underneath. But usually, although we have for other materials, but both materials always contain the fine particle. So usually under this ML feeder, we have a pickup belt conveyor. Like here, this belt conveyor underneath. So fine particle to leak to this belt conveyor, and then this belt conveyor collect all leakage. This application we already introduced. Another chain conveyor, we call it drop chain conveyor. A drop chain conveyor uses one or multiple chains or cable to pull materials along a trough. This is a chain, this is a trough. They are suitable for heavy-duty application and can handle abrasive and high-temperature materials because all parts are metal. Drop conveyor, chain conveyor, compress scrap. The scrap attached to the chain, and the casing, and the tensioning device, so it can move forward to get to the chain of tension, and the drive unit. So materials feeding in from here, and then discharge underneath here, or feeding here, discharge here. Chain conveyor features. Capacity is relatively lower, up to 400 tons per hour. And the distance was shorter, about 50 meters long. And this low speed, 0.1 to 0.5 meter, because it is metal parts and attached steel to steel. So you cannot run at high speed because the wear of parts and make a big noisy. Incline angle up to 45 degrees and suitable for powder, granular, high temperature, and other bulk materials. In heavy-duty applications such as mining, cement manufacture, and power plants. And the feature is simple design, relatively low cost of breakage, and a small space requirement, and totally enclosed housing. So it can be safe and no dust. And about 50 space utilized. That's mean when we do the calculation for the power, you only can feed half of materials in this conveyor.
I think first, Mr. Racing is.
Sorry?
Hey, John, where in a power plant do these type of conveyors have application? Where do they use these?
Yeah, power plant, I'm talking about thermal power plant, not hydraulic power plant. So it can convert like a coal or some for biomass thermal power plants. You can also convey like wood chips.
I see. Yeah.
For wood chips,
Thank you.
actually for another type of chain conveyor. I will introduce next. So this attachment can be many type of shape depending on what materials. So this picture shows the application for this drop changing conveyor. So you can see all are enclosed, and the small and the short, and it can be incline installed. So this is called a rake conveyor, mainly for biomass materials. So you can see the rake have lots of bar welded on a cross angle or pipe. So rake conveyor is designed for convey biomass materials. The chain drop transverse place the rake on the bottom of the steel trap, fixed to conveyor structure, and those carries the conveyed materials. A rake conveyor comprises rake, the chain, two chains here, and the tension device. You can see two circular here. That means it can move. And the drive units drive always at the head. So materials can feed in here, and then the rake push the materials go to here and discharge to here. So it is in the box, so it can be enclosed. This picture didn't show the casing. Feature. This capacity also relatively small, up to 400 tons per hour. Distance also small, up to 50 meters long. Speed is quite slow, it's 0.1 to 0.5 meters per second. Incline angle up to 60 degrees. And 50% space utilized. Suitable for wood chips only. And the simple design, relatively low cost of operation, smaller space requirement, and a totally enclosed housing. This is picture show in operation as wood chips, process from wood chips, incline angle. Next one is vibrating feeder or conveyor. A vibrating feeder conveyor uses vibration to move materials along a trough or a conveyor pan. They are suitable for application where gentle handling is required, such as for fragile or abrasive materials. A vibrating feeder comprise feeding trough or pan, the spring, you can see spring here, and the vibrating motor. So it is very simple, materials on, and this vibrating and the materials will be moved on. So always have a small, slow incline angle with that. The features, capacity up to 2,000 tons per hour, cannot be too big. Suitable for sand, gravel, cement, food, and most bulk materials. With controlled feed material rate, because it is really slow movement and often used in food processing, mining, and recycle. Mining usually under a silo, a hopper to discharge materials from silo to belt conveyor or other equipment. And small size, lightweight, simple structure, easy installation. The low production cost is quite cheaper, and high reliable and low maintenance because really simple, not too many parts, and a small power consumption because it is vibrate with downhill incline angle. The less wear because materials it is jump above this pan, but not suitable for free flow materials and stick materials. If free flow, like marrow sand or beads or bean, it will be uncontrolled flow. So it will be flat at a downstream equipment and cannot be useful for stick materials. It will be stick on. So when you vibrate, it will compact stick materials. They cannot handle it. So this picture shows the application for vibrating. So the under a hopper to feeding discharge materials to the belt conveyor underneath. And this is 2 vibrating feeder to feed 1 belt conveyor underneath.
Georgia, which part is the drive part?
Drive part is here or here, just vibrating motor. Yeah, very simple. But usually it is controlled by VFD, so it can adjust vibrating frequency. So to adjust feeding rate. So materials, the vibrating here and discharge here with a small angle here. And they usually, this opening, the height is critical. If opening too big, it will be flooding here. If too small, it will be stuck here, cannot load out, or have some dead materials here. So it's critical to design this vibrating feeder with this opening and angle and height. Last one is pneumatic conveyor. This one are different with other conveyor because it is use air to move materials, not mechanical. So pneumatic conveyor use air pressure to transport materials through pipes or tube. They are often used for transporting fine powder and granular materials. So like here, see, this is blower to blow air through the pipe. And there is a feeding hopper here. And under hopper, there will be a valve to control or feeding materials to the pipe. And in the pipe, materials will be go through and to a receiver. So pneumatic conveyor comprise a gas motor, feeder, charger here, and the pipeline and the receiver.
One question. George, what is the pressure level for the gas? Do you have a rough number for that?
Pressure level depends on because pneumatic conveyor have positive pressure and negative pressure. Like vacuum system is negative pressure. The high pressure usually 100 psi, I think, but I'm not quite sure. I cannot remember this number. And also, I will show here. The pneumatic conveyor have a dense or dilute phase, different type. Dense means it will be lots of materials filling inside the pipe, almost 100%, and very slowly move. Dilute phase is maybe just 20 or 30% of materials in pipe. All particle will be suspended on the air. So, but it will be high speed for the dilute phase. And also they have vacuum type or pressure type. Vacuum type like dust collection system to suck dust or spray from somewhere and then transfer to receiver. Pressure type is used like last slide is blow and then transfer. Capacity is quite small, up to 100 tons per hour. Distance up to 3 kilometers. And it can be vertical installed. Suitable materials like powder, granular, and sticky materials. But sticky materials, you have to use vacuum type. Industrial, like food processing, pharmaceutical. Sorry for my poor English. And the chemical manufacturing. It is fully enclosed, but it can be. It is fully enclosed. So ideal for dusty materials and multiple pickup points and multiple delivery points, combination type. For example, vacuum type, you can pick up lots of points. You can pick up here, pick up here. But discharge can only 1 point. But for pressure type, you only can have 1 pickup point, but you can deliver like you have 30 or 10 hopper, so you can at the same time discharge to more than 1 hopper. So if you can combine system, you pick up use negative and then connect to a positive system. So you can pick up many points and discharge to the many points. Routing pipe to fit a variable geometry. So it can be use existing plans, so you can routing pipe anywhere. But the problem is it cost power efficiency is very low. Usually 5 to 20 times of horsepower required by mechanical system, like belt conveyor. This one will be maybe 20 times of belt conveyor power. If you say 10 horsepower for belt conveyor, this one needs 200 horsepower. And the high piping line, well, because especially for dilute, because high speed, so especially at the airborne, you always have problem really fast to wear a hole at the airborne. Maybe similar to slowly piping, and the materials degrade. cause impact, high speed. So not suitable for large lump and abrasive materials, and not suitable fiber materials. And this picture shows pneumatic conveyor system to feeding materials on top at the silos. It looks like multiple discharge point with pressure system. Okay, so all conveyor are here. This is summary comparison of different conveyors. So this type, this capacity rate, range, and the speed, maximum length, maximum incline angle, space utilization, and the suitable materials, not suitable materials, energy efficiency, cost efficiency, and the application example.
I think Farah have